going to be working on a series of exercises for our bunions or great toes if we don't have a lot of flexibility with that with an elastic band. So I love this exercise personally because our shoes have very narrow toe boxes. I think this is an important exercise for anybody to do if they have bunions or not. So you're going to take an elastic band and place it around your big toes on the inside. So I'll show a different angle in a moment. But what you're going to do is dig your heels into the ground and pull your toes outward away from each other so your big toes stay in and you're getting a really nice inner stretch on those two toes. So you shouldn't feel any sharp pain or any major discomfort. If you do, try backing off a little bit. Don't go too much, especially if you have bunions. You'll have to work into this range of motion, so that is normal. So here's that other overhead angle. So you just slightly turn your toes away from each other, feel that nice stretch, and slowly control the release back in. So we're going to be doing this a few more times, warming up the tissues, getting things used to moving before we go through other mobility exercises with the elastic band, pulling our toes in these directions. So we're really going to work the muscles, getting them used to activating in this range. So right now we're just working on the range of motion, bringing blood flow to the area, warming up the joints and getting them used to moving in this new direction. So again, if you feel any pain, just back off slightly from the amount of range of motion that you're pulling outwards. And now here we're going to start incorporating that movement. So with that resistance of your toes spreading out, curl your toes underneath and then extend upwards. So we're going to do a series of curling in and up. So my feet are elevated, so my heels are on the ground. I'm lifting up my toes to make that curling in and lifting up possible. If you find this difficult and you have a hard time pulling your feet up, what you can do is just put your feet on a stepping stool, so your heels are on the stool and your toes are hanging off, to make it easier if you're finding that difficult to lift your toes upwards. And now you're going to rise up onto your heels. So again, keep that resistance so your toes are out as fast as possible. You want your big toes in line with the edge. You don't want those toes to go in. So when you're rising your heels and lowering, or raising your heels rather, and lowering your heels, you're doing so with that great toe in line. So I was adding a little bit more resistance there. So if you find, okay, I'm going to try a little bit more resistance, just space your toes out from each other's a little bit more for even more resistance, and raise your heels. So I did this a few times, adjusting. So make this your own. That's the beauty of doing this at home. So you can even take this a step further and do this against the wall in a standing position as well. And now you're going to just do this with your legs straight out here. This just puts a little bit more strain, puts the muscles at a different angle, puts a toe at a different angle when you're doing this exercise. So again, try to control the band as best you can. And we're almost done. All right, and that's a wrap for this video. So once again, my name is Nichelle Thomson. I'm the manual osteopath, owner and operator at Heat Therapy in Sudbury, Ontario. So I want to take a moment to thank you for completing this video. If you have any questions, please leave that in the comments below. And of course, if you have any suggestions of videos you would like to see in the future, also leave that in the comments below. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your support.